So you want to be a motivational speaker, or you already are a motivational speaker and you're trying to figure out, how do I get hired as a motivational speaker? Well, I've been a Hall of Fame speaker in my career, and I'm excited to tell you about some of the ways that I do it and some of the ways you can too. Let's go get some gigs. Here we go. So for many years, over 20 in fact, I've been a speaker and motivator, and it's been a wonderful career. I'm so grateful for the clients that hire me, and sometimes I look at it and go, man, that was just a bunch of luck. But the more that I think about it and the more I've learned, it's not just luck. It is a lot of preparation, it's a lot of work, and it's equally something that I know I can teach you in order to get more gigs. I'm excited to share some of these ideas with you and hopefully cut the curve that I never got, and so that I can help you to get more gigs. Here we go. First, I want you to define your niche and your unique proposition. As a speaker, people need to understand why they would hire you instead of somebody else. I mean, think about it. There are so many options out there. I believe there are tens of thousands of speakers making a living out there these days. And how do you cut through all of that noise? Well, you have to be somebody who really stands out in a sit-down world. So the question is, what are your signature moves? What make you as unique as somebody should be to be hired? And so when it comes to a musician, think about it. You have the musicians you like, the voices you resonate with, the songs that they sing that you go, oh, I like that, I want to hear it again. And then there are those musicians that you think, I would never even bother with them. It's the same thing with a speaker. It's the same thing with actors and entertainers and you name it. And so with you, what are your signature moves? What's your unique proposition? What is it you bring that makes you so different that they're going to bring you in? These are some of the things I love to teach. I love to call them signature moves. And how to discover those signature moves is something we're going to talk about today. On top of knowing what your signature moves are, I also, whenever a speaker comes to me and says, I want to be a speaker, or somebody trying to get into the business, or maybe even somebody who's already kind of in the business trying to transition into making higher fees, I always first ask, not only what are your signature moves, but also, let me see your website. Oh man, that's a tough one. Most people say, oh, it's under construction, or yeah, I'm working on it. My brother's going to make it for me someday. I understand. It's time to get serious about it. If you don't have a website, you're never going to get any gigs. I know no one, actually, that's ever been a successful speaker that doesn't have a website at least. And so, consider strongly going and figuring out how to get a website put together as soon as you can. In terms of your signature moves, I would like for you to think about it this way. If you went in the 1980s to a Michael Jackson concert and you saw Michael Jackson perform and he didn't do the moonwalk, you'd probably be disappointed. Well, that's the same with your signature moves. You have to have something that you stand out in a sit-down world with so strongly that people want to hire you and have you be at their event. So what are your signature moves? What is it that makes you unique and different? I've put together something that's very powerful. I'll tell you more about it in just a minute. But when it comes to your signature moves, you must know what they are so you can offer it and get hired for more gigs. When you know the signature moves that you offer, then you can know which audience you're going after. You see, a lot of speakers think, oh, anybody can hire me. Not really. I mean, there are certain speakers that, yeah, most audiences would love. But there are a lot of speakers that need to focus on a specific niche. For example, I know the signature moves of my peers, so I can recommend them for the specific groups that ask me to come and speak if I can't, or I have a recommendation for them. For example, I have peers that I know I can recommend for a women's group that would be perfect for them, or for a school assembly, they would be perfect for that, or speaking at a county fair, which those things are things I'm not doing. So I can recommend my peers if I know that's what they want. Recently, I had a request from a 4-H club in Wyoming, and I said to myself, that's not my audience anymore. I've spoken to 4-H clubs in the past. I don't do it anymore. So what did I do? Luckily, I know the network of speakers all around me, and I told them they were in a specific area in Wyoming. I said, I know the perfect guy. He lives down the street. And so I recommended my friend. I want you to think about that. I knew that that guy had been a 4-H speaker. I knew that he stands out in a sit-down world for kids especially, and for 4-H clubs, and he's a cowboy. It all worked out perfect. But that's because I know his signature moves. What are yours? That's where we come to building your personal brand. Yes, you probably have a certain direction you've already gone in, but I want you to think about how well your branding is working. If your website is consistent with what you want to say, then that's awesome. What is your personal brand? What are you known for? In 2014, I was called by the US military in the middle of the Afghanistan war to come and perform and make the troops laugh. They needed encouragement. They needed morale to be boosted. My signature move is that I spread joy. I make people laugh. And so they brought me in for that specific reason. What are you known for? What is your personal brand? That is your signature move. I'm about to give you something that's going to change your career and your life and help you get more gigs than you ever thought possible. This is how you do it. Go to icmprocess.com. When you go to icmprocess.com, you're going to see a little video of me that just quickly introduces what's going on there. And ICM stands for Identify, Clarify, Magnify. When you identify what you're unique at, what you're good at, what your skills and talents are, then you clarify with others what they see in you. Then you can magnify that to the world. Sounds like a really simple process. And actually, it will push you because I'm going to challenge you to identify 100 things that make you stand out. Then I'm going to have you ask people that you love and that encourage you as to what they clarify for you that you have yet to identify for yourself. When you get all of these lists of words, that helps you to magnify your signature moves. This has helped people, leaders, executives, team members, all types of people from the speaking world to the performance world, all around the world for years as I've taught how to discover your signature moves through the ICM process. Once you take the time to do it, you're going to have a new promise. Your leadership promise is to share your personal brand, your signature moves that only you can. That's how you're going to get hired even more. Now that you know your signature moves, now that you've gone to icmprocess.com, now that you're ready to share everything with the world, I'm excited for this next part for you. It's time to showcase your expertise. Go online, record videos, do live streams, join podcasts as a guest, or start your own podcast. Give everyone an opportunity to know that you're available to speak at their event. When you start to spread the love because you love speaking and because you know your message is so important, the next thing you know, you're going to start getting hired. Yeah, you might think, well, I don't want to give it away. I need to make money. Well, I believe truly that when we give more first, we will be compensated for the value provided. And so give to everyone. Speak anywhere and everywhere possible. Anyone that will allow you to take the mic in front of their people, they deserve your best. Once you deliver that, they'll see the value you bring. If you're confident enough in the value you bring, you will be paid for it in the future. But you have to serve first. You have to get experience. You have to create expertise. You have to share your signature moves. The next thing you need to do is network effectively. How do you do this? I would recommend, if you're not on LinkedIn, that you need to go there and create a profile for yourself. Start networking with other speakers. I wouldn't recommend trying to be friends with Ed Milet and Gary Vee and Tony Robbins. They're probably not going to give you much time. I would recommend, however, that there are speakers in your community that are trying to make it too. Network with them. See how you can help each other. Rising tide lifts all boats. Help one another. Join the National Speakers Association. Go join Toastmasters. There are so many ways to network with others, and you can help one another by referring each other, just like I did with that Wyoming speaker who is a cowboy and a 4-H club member way back when he was a kid. Now he's speaking to them and he's making a living. Pretty cool. And once again, I encourage you to offer value first. A lot of speaker coaches or people that you watch on video talking about, hey, here's how you get hired. All you have to do is pay for this list, or buy my coaching program, or go buy my book. Those are good. I mean, you have to sift through the not so good, but I would just emphasize one more time. Offer value first. Speak wherever you can. Share your gifts. Because if you're so good, they can't ignore you. And that's one of my favorite quotes from Steve Martin. Be so good, they can't ignore you. When you become that good because you've taken the time to be on stage, to give it away, the next thing you know, you're going to have opportunities to charge for it. And that's the very next step. To getting hired as a speaker, it's first to give it and then to charge for it after you've proven that you're awesome. Once you've proven you're awesome through getting footage of your gigs and putting it on your website and getting a YouTube channel put together, the next thing you know, the gigs will start coming in and you'll be able to charge for it. But you have to make the jump. You have to promise yourself and promise me that you will start charging after you've spoken for free enough. Don't just speak for free and become the free guy forever. You need to start charging at some point. And when you start charging, you're going to be able to make a transition from your former job into being a professional speaker. How do you get hired to get a lot of gigs? The best way, I think, is to give them away and then add value first. Thanks for joining me here. And I want you to know this whole channel is devoted to this very thing. I have other ideas on this channel and videos that will change your life if you're willing to give them the time. Whether it's working on your speech or how to get more gigs, you choose what you want to find here. I hope you'll subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for joining me, and good luck to you getting more gigs.